of the right of assembly and demonstration and for connected purposes.
Next order.
Order number 11, Committee of the Whole House.
SB upstanding members.
Honorable members, we are in the Committee of the Whole House to continue consideration of the Cotton Industry Development Bill, Senate Bill number 5 of 2023. I would like to first confirm whether the chair is in the House. The co-sponsor, the Honorable Mary Emase. Honorable members, is the Vice Chair Committee on Agriculture in the House? Any member of the Agriculture Committee? Any member of the Agriculture Committee? Honorable Ekomas Mutuse, because he also has interest in this bill. Honorable members, please allow the House a few minutes so that we can consult. Honorable members, we are trying to reach out to the Honorable Mary Emase, who is in the Committee on Appointments, and in a few minutes, I'll be able to guide the House on how to proceed. How do you proceed? Any member would have done it very well. These are new clauses.
you want me to, where is the nini? We either define.
Kama angekuwa sasa. Lakini Mishi alikuwa ameshaamua. Yeah, she had already. So what do? We reorganize. Okay, tutoke hapa, nani akuje reorganize.
We defer the current one, eh?
Yes.
Then the next one is?
So niandikieni what to say because we need to report.
You know, many people are not around and we might struggle. I understand.
So as to avoid the house being idle, maybe we can give you the mic.
Anza kuongea tu.
Okay, to general members are maybe in other activities so that at least the house is as we see what
The people already know.
Yeah, can just give the majority deputy whip to say something.
Lakini akishasema tutasema aje. Okay, majority.
Yes.
Deputy Whip.
Chair, as members settle and prepare themselves to participate and debate, I know this morning we have so many things happening. The vetting committee is very busy because they are meeting this morning, and I'm sure they will join us a little later. But currently they are busy, and that carries quite a number of members. We have very important matters to discuss or debate on our order paper, and that is why I want to request the members to be patient as we reorganize so that we can continue. And if you are a member of Agriculture Committee, you can also come in so that we can deliberate on the current order paper, what we have to discuss, so that we proceed. But just to note, important to note is that we were to go on recess from tomorrow, but we are doing it now in the next week, Thursday. That day will be our final day because we have serious matters to deliberate on. So it is important for members to know that 16th is when we will be on recess. Meanwhile, anybody who has anything on the order paper, because we have quite some motions, and especially this morning is members' motion. So if you have any motion on the order paper, just be ready so that as we progress, then you can be able to bring on your motion, and then the members can debate on so that at least we will be able to progress. And I also want to encourage members, because this is a very busy morning, please make sure that you remain in the chambers so that we can have the numbers that we require for us to transact business. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Thank you, Deputy Majority Whip.
You have to write. I'm here and ask if there's any other member of the committee who has come.
I would like to find out whether we have any member of Agriculture Committee in the House. Any member of Agriculture Committee, please approach the table if you are in the House. Any member of Agriculture Committee.
Wacha tu tuadjourn, Sasa itakuwa 96. Can any member even speak? Cotton industry. Hakuna any member who can keep us busy. Hakuna a member who can move the mic from the table. Ndio kuadjourn.
You can give the deputy majority leader so that she can request us to adjourn this debate and ask you to report progress to the House.
Yes, Deputy Majority.
Yes, Honorable Chair, because Honorable Mary Emase is a member of vetting committee, and we also seem not to have any member of agriculture committee here. I wish to suggest that we postpone this and also request you to report on this matter so that we can postpone it and then we progress. You are the only.
She can put the question. You just put the question. What does
You can just say that in the circumstances we are not able to proceed with the job of committee, and so I put the question that the committee do adjourn.
report progress? Do adjourn.
Honorable Charles Nguna.
Chair, based on what has been explained and based on the study orders, Madam Chair, I wish to suggest that we can defer this business, we move to the next order, based on the mood of the House, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Honorable Makali Mulu.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, I want to support what the Deputy Majority Whip has said. Kenyans are aware that the issue of vetting the CSEs ended last week, and now the committee is in the process of finalizing their report so that it's tabled in the House this afternoon. And the Honorable Emase, who is the co-sponsor of this important bill, is part of the appointment committee. So on those bases, it's not possible that she is here and also in the other meeting. So on those bases, Honorable Chair, I would recommend that this matter is pushed to another day so that we allow the next bills to be debated. I submit, Honorable Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Makali Mulu. Honorable Beatrice Elachi.
Thank you, Chair. While I agree, Chair, this is a very important bill. And it's a bill that needs to unlock many regions in terms of cotton. You remember last time, this is a bill that we ended up at, I think, clause 49 is where we are supposed to start. And I can see in the House, we have Honorable Mutuse, who has amendments in the same bill. And I believe, since he has interest, he can proceed with the bill so that we finalize, Madam Chair. Because even the next motion that comes in, Madam Chair, we will push because it is for a member who is also in the appointments committee. We shall have the same. We'll start arguing, and I think Kenyans are just watching and wondering. So if people are in the appointments committee, the House doesn't proceed with other businesses. So I plead, but it is to the chair to decide.
We had consulted the Honorable Motuse, and we have agreed, but I would like to hear the voice of the Honorable Kagongo. Didn't you want to say something?
Yes. Thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, just wanted to support the Deputy Majority Whip, the Honorable Naomi, and also what the Honorable Makali Mulu and my other colleagues have said, that because the owner of the bill is not around, Madam Chair, and you know, the Honorable Emase understands her bill very well. She's in a very good position to prosecute it very well. Now that she's not in and she's still going on with the vetting committee, Honorable Chair, so I'm seeking that you defer, and if there is another business, this house, we can proceed to the next business until when the Honorable Emase is around, that we can prosecute this bill. Thank you, Madam Chair.
I would like to give a chance to the Honorable Mutuse.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First and foremost, I wish to apologize to the House because I arrived a little late when my matter had already been called. But I also agree with the wisdom of the House that in the absence of the sponsor of the bill, and it is a warranted absence because she's in another business of the House, it is not in order that the matter proceeds. Madam Chair, this is also a bill that the chair of the Agriculture Committee is critical in terms of what we are supposed to do. And as such, while I have an amendment that we have proposed to the bill, and the amendment we have been discussing with the chair and the sponsor of the bill, it will not be prudent for me to move the amendments without the chair and without the sponsor of the bill. And therefore, I support that we defer the matter to another date because deferral is a normal procedure of this House. I thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, honorable members. I have heard what the Honorable Charles Ngosi Anguna has said, the Honorable Beatrice Elachi, the Honorable Makalimulu, the Honorable Mutuse, who has a lot of interest in this bill, and honorable members, the Deputy Majority Leader, the Deputy Majority Whip also made very strong comments, also indicating where these members who are not in the House are, and they are engaged in very serious business of this House. Therefore, honorable members, I put the question that the committee do adjourn to report progress pursuant to Standing Order 96. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Honorable members, Mr. Speaker.
Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that pursuant to Standing Order number 96, the Committee of the Whole House adjourned its consideration of Cotton Industry Development Bill, Senate Bill number 5 of 2023, and seeks leave to sit again. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, I propose the question that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. Honorable members, I can observe the House from where I'm sitting. I can observe the House from where I'm sitting. Let me sit back and check whether we have quorum again. So I see Honorable Mutunga is now here. But Honorable Mutunga, this is a house of rules. It's a house of precedents. You can be sure we don't have reverse gear. So I will call the next order to be called for good reasons.
Order number 12 motion, policy for the provision of mental health services in all healthcare facilities. Resumption of debate.
The Honorable Beatrice Elachi, you want to speak to this particular motion? This one had been moved.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, while I speak on this motion, I just want to say this, which is important to go on record. That it is important for us to appreciate some of the things we are doing. And I'm hoping it's not on the chair, but also the whole committee. It is good if something is on the order paper, the committee to just, not the chair alone, because he's not responsible, but for the rest. Having said that, Mr. Speaker, allow me to support this motion on policy for the provision of mental health care services in all healthcare facilities in the country. Mr. Speaker, while I appreciate the Honorable Mishi for bringing this very important motion to this House, and looking at how our young people right now are really struggling, and not just young people, Mr. Speaker. I think every person today in their families, they have someone who is going through some mental health challenges, and not just for anything else but stress. We've developed stress, and I know when you look at how life is today, many families will tell you why the young people are on the streets is because of stress, and in that stress, it pulls into that mental health challenge. Even in our ministries, and I remember when I was in the ministry, we had developed now a policy after COVID that we shall have a department for public servants so that they are able to go and just go for counseling, try and check yourself. That is why in Kenya, we have very many people suffering from chronic diseases. And the reason why we have these chronic diseases is because of stress. And we've come to realize as a country, it's not just about money. It is just that social setup. What is best for someone to be in a mental care, to find yourself without stress? Many of us I know will say, oh, we will need the money. You can have the money and you still have a problem on mental. And so to put it in every healthcare that we have, in fact, we have community health workers, Speaker, who we can train. Let them go in the homes. Let them visit homes. And these homes, when you start hearing someone how they are speaking, you realize why they are developing and finding themselves into mental challenges or disturbances or illness is because of just a few things that we are unable. That's why even our children, I'll tell you, Mr. Speaker, there is a young girl who will be buried maybe this weekend. And this young girl, the mother and the father were separated, yes, but at the same time had everything. But because of that, this girl went through a mental challenge until she decided to commit suicide when she's a university student. Today, Mr. Speaker, when you look at our universities, we've decided to take all the hostel. You know the days of privilege where you would walk into a university and it's the first time you are eating sausage? You know, it was in that, you know, there was some courtesy of now training you that when you are in this environment, you can sit on the table, you can have a meal, because maybe I've come from a family where we didn't even have the table to eat. Today we have subjected our students in an environment. When I look at Nairobi University, definitely you'll have mental stress because the hostel itself does not have curtains. The paint that was there during the time we were going to university is still the one. Nobody bothers to say you can even make it an environment. As much as the challenges are there,
paint for them, make it look a place where they'll feel, I have changed my life from the rural, I am now in a university. That is why today you find them wearing Crocs. Not that they don't want to wear shoes. They feel it's a lifestyle, fine. But look at the campuses that we have. Why won't you find your children into a mental stress? That we don't even want to make for them a place where we can call a dining, a kitchen, where I can enter with my 5 shillings, but afford the food and bring all the women who sell on the road that same food and tell them, we have now made a modern dining. You will be the one selling from the dining for safeguarding our students. Today, that is why you'll find some of them now running all over looking to how to survive. Why wouldn't they go through mental stress? We don't even have a health facility in the same universities to just help our students. And it has to change. The same person who is building the hostels, Kwetu and where, would have been given land in the university and be told, build it here. Let the students say, within the security vicinity of the university, but we shall have safeguarded many things. We've left them. Our university students from home is living in Githurai. Then the next thing, my son is in the cold in the morgue. I cannot question the university. No, 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 no. As much as we are talking about this, Mr. Speaker, we must go back to where we started. We must bring relevance of why I am a student at the university. What is this that I have come to learn? How do I become a better leader, Mr. Speaker, if indeed I have gone through that hard life? How? How will I know goodness for my country? And that is what we are facing. That is why most of them, when you see them in the house, they will be on the phone, even your son, even my son, my daughter, because he or she feels, Mom, you're so busy. That is why when you listen to them at Eldoret in the music festival, we have very painful poems that are being said in that. You wonder, where are we as parents? Who are we? Look at the children that we gave birth in 2008. If you want to know, we really need these mental facilities and healthcare within our healthcare. Any Form 4 student today is a child that was born within 2008. You remember that time we had post-election violence? We have come, the same children, were the same children we decided we shall give them free laptops. We never gave them, Mr. Speaker. The same children came and find themselves in COVID, where they stayed home. There was COVID. The same children have gone for their school for 3 years, plus the days they will be for exams. I think some will be 70 days, some 77. So it means I have done my Form 4, 3 years, 77 days. I have finished my Form 4. Why wouldn't they have that challenge? That is where the government and the Ministry of Education should start thinking how they are doing the examination papers, so that we don't find our children feeling very disgruntled that it was during our time we had COVID, during our time we had floods, during our time we have a campaign where people did campaign and we were at home. All those things bring mental stress. And for us to change that, as I finalize, Mr. Speaker, is that we must support Honorable Mishi and to urge the national government through the Ministry of Health to collaborate with the counties and develop a policy to integrate mental health services in all. I would say the Ministry of Education should pick this and do it better for our children. With those few remarks.
Honorable Beatrice Elachi, I thought this House had ceased to urge government. We had resolved that this House should be resolving or deciding. Why are we urging government?
I think, Speaker, you will forgive the House, and we will request in a very polite way the technical team, when they are processing, to ensure the word resolve and indeed, we must resolve as a house that the Ministry of Health will collaborate with the counties to ensure we develop the policy. With those few remarks, I beg to support.
Honorable members, for those who do not have this motion, I would request you look at it. It's one of the most important the House could be debating at this point in time. It's one motion that should engage the House very, very deeply and very actively. Honorable Mutunga.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to also support this motion by the Honorable Mishi. Honorable Speaker, before I say anything, I wish to apologize to this House profusely for the failure this morning for the Committee of the Whole House to take place. Honorable Speaker, I was at a radio station called Ghetto FM. I've rushed from that radio station to this place, but I thought at least the sponsor of the motion would be there, or any member of the committee would be there. Honorable Speaker, we have a problem where we have committees and members are not really committed. And I'm not trying to accuse any of my members. So I do not apologize for any of my members, but I think it is important to have committees where people sit and listen and hear what is happening so that they can also take over just in case the chair is not there. The committee is not the chair is the chair of the committee, and therefore the committee should be held inclusively responsible. Every member of the committee is responsible for what has happened this morning. I was at the radio station, it can be verified. I left that radio station, Honorable Speaker, when I got a call from the House that this motion is done before the House, and nobody is there. At least I expected the sponsor to be there. And it's only about 3 or 4 items that are remaining. Honorable Speaker, I seek indulgence of the House to give us some more time to clear this particular issue so that the Kenyans do not suffer as a result of failures on our side. Having said that, Honorable Speaker, I stand to support this particular motion. This is a very, very important motion in the sense that it basically is really a right. It is a right to Kenyans to be given an opportunity to acquire the highest standards of health. And, Honorable Speaker, mental health is fundamental. Mental health is key to life. If somebody has a problem with the mental faculties, Honorable Speaker, then such a person may not function well. It takes a lot of time for us sometimes to even diagnose mental health cases. And the reason is that there are no provisions or there are no clear modalities of identifying these cases at very early stages. And that is why it makes a lot of sense for us to consider as a House and pass that mental health services should be devolved to the smallest unit of health, to the smallest health facility, so that it can, identification or diagnosis can be done early. Honorable Speaker, they say that every marketplace has a mental case. This is not really prestigious to say. I don't think it is every marketplace in the world. We might need to narrow ourselves to whether it is every marketplace probably in Kenya or probably every marketplace in Africa. I don't think it is every marketplace in the world, because we've gone to places in the world and we've not found mentally ill people in those places. We may have found destitutes living in those towns, but we've not found mentally challenged people. Honorable Speaker, this is a dimension of health that we need to take seriously as a country. We need to take it seriously because when somebody is mentally ill, such a person is not able to take care of themselves. Such a person is not able to take decisions that will help them to live like normal human beings. Such a person do not have the ability to manage their own affairs. And in view of being unable to manage one's own affairs, it makes one subhuman. And, Honorable Speaker, it is odd and wrong for us to watch as our brothers and sisters and those our kin, are to be living like subhuman beings because we've not taken care of the precautionary measures. Here we are saying that it is important for a country like Kenya to consider investing in having diagnostic facilities, in having some level of treatment at the very local levels of health facilities. Honorable Speaker, it is in record that not all mental cases can go to the extreme. Some mental cases can be taken care of. We have our old hospital called Madari Hospital, where people are taken and sometimes they heal, they get completely healed. It means, therefore, it's a situation that can be contained. It's medically possible to contain this particular situation if it is diagnosed early. And, Honourable Speaker, there are stages upon which probably, I mean, this condition manifests. It starts with psychological challenges. And if psychological challenges are not diagnosed early enough and addressed early enough, they may escalate to serious, mental health breakdown. Honourable Speaker, this motion needs to be considered very positively in this House to ensure that Kenya becomes an example of a country that takes care of people. Kenya becomes a country where the sovereignty of the people and the dignity of the people is observed, to have them checked at any one given time whenever the people who live close to them or their kin realize that there is a disconnect between the functional ability of the person or the verbal coordination of the person and what is expected. It is possible for almost anybody to know that one is getting disrupted, is getting cognitive dissonance, inability to be able to coordinate what one says and what one does. Any form of dissonance can be identified early enough, and therefore it is possible for somebody to be treated. Since it is treatable to a large extent, Honourable Speaker, and we know people who have been going for mental, curative medicine for a very long time, and they have lived a more or less normal life, then it is to be good for us to consider devolving this particular function to the smallest unit possible, so that you can, first of all, diagnose early and then treat the cases so that we do not get our people going beyond, living beyond the level of concern or the level of human being, as it were. Honourable Speaker, having seen those few remarks, I wish to support that this House passes this particular motion. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Honourable members, we recently lost a very hard-working magistrate, Madam Monica Kivuti, shot by a police officer whose duty, was to gather. I don't know how you would relate incidences such as that to